What's up guys, Zangus95 here with another 3DS hacking tutorial. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to install ROM hacks on Sun and Moon, X and Y, or Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Now I know I did a tutorial on this already, but that tutorial is getting pretty outdated. And right now if you're hacking your 3DS of any sorts, you're probably not using Homebrew anymore. You've probably got a CFW, and if you don't, you should probably do that. You should probably get CFW, get boot 9 strap, or if you're on ARM9 loader hacks, update to boot 9 strap, use the latest version of Luma. Yeah, so that's how I'm going to be teaching this, because Luma is, right now, in my opinion, it's the best custom firmware to be using. It has all this cool stuff, so yeah, you should be using Luma. This tutorial is going to revolve on features of Luma, so you're going to want to have Luma3ds installed as a custom firmware. So yeah, also before I start the tutorial, I would strongly advise against playing any of these hacks online, because even then, when with wireless enabled and you're playing it, that could be a bad idea, because, well, Nintendo can access what you're playing and stuff, and they could realize that you're not playing something legit, and yeah, you could be banned from using online services on a Nintendo 3DS. There's been a giant ban wave going around recently, so I would strongly advise not playing this hack online. So, yeah. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to insert your 3DS SD card into your computer. You're going to want to make sure that you have a Files 9 folder. Now, if you don't have one, just make one. Then inside that, make a D9 game folder. That's just organizing purposes. You don't even really have to do that. But then what you want to do is you want to make sure, well, I mean, you probably already have this folder too, though, because most CFW tutorials will use Decrypt 9, and you'll have to have that folder anyway. So yeah, but you're gonna want to make sure that you have the newest version of Decrypt 9 installed. Oh, that's not at. That's the wrong thing. Here, yeah. So you're gonna want to be on boot 9 strap, so it's gonna be .firm instead of .bin. So yeah. Where's the hacking folder? What you're gonna want to do is, I left the version that I'm using of Decrypt 9. It's in here. So what you're gonna want to do is drag that in there. I already have it there. Then you rename it to X_A_, a button that you're going to want to press when it boots, and then it'll load into that. So once you've got that, you can go ahead and eject your SD card, and you can head over to your 3DS. So I'll see you there. Okay, so if you see no signal on the screen, that's because my 3DS isn't turned on yet. So yeah, so what you want to do is you want to hold the button that you saw, or that you put Decrypt 9 to. So in my case, it's X. So then you want to hold power button. Then you should be in Decrypt 9. What you want to do is you want to head over to Sysnand options, I believe, or no, game cart dumper options. Sorry. You want to dump cart full, and this is going to take a very long time, because the game itself is a little over 3 gigs. I think it's like 3.2 or something like that, and that's almost double Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, or X and Y. So if you're doing Sun and Moon, it's going to take a very long time. If you're doing X and Y or Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, it'll still take a long time, just maybe like half as long as Sun and Moon. So yeah, because this takes a long time, I'm going to pause. Alright, back. So once it's done, it's gonna say something like press B to return, start to reboot. Press start to reboot, and then once your system turns on, just turn it off. And then you want to take your SD card out, put it into your PC, oopsies, and go to the Files 9 folder. And if you made one, D9 game, and if you didn't make one, this should just be in the Files 9 folder, but since I made a D9 game folder, it's in here. This is Pokemon Moon. So I know as a fact this is Pokemon Moon because that was the cartridge I just put in. So this is something that will be addressed later, but you can't do this with CIA or this specific method of dumping it. There will be an update video explaining how to dump the CIA, but for now I'm not entirely sure how to. So yeah, there's going to be an update video with a few other things also. So yeah, what you want to do is you want to drag this somewhere where you're going to keep it, and what you're going to want to do is actually I take it back. You're going to want to have the pack hack that's again going to be downloaded, but you're going to want to put it in here. Now I already have it in here because this thing is 3 gigabytes. I don't really want to be wasting storage, so yeah, I'm just going to keep it there. So what you want to do is run the setup.us.exe or setup.exe or whatever, and then you want to open the hacking toolkit. Then what you want to do is you want to hit D or type D for extract a .3ds file, and then click enter or press enter or whatever. Then enter the name of your decrypted .3ds file without extension. Type in Pokemon Moon .3ds. No, not 4ds. Oh no, not .3ds. Just Pokemon Moon. And then decompress code.bin file. You want to hit no. And then please wait extraction in process. This should not take long at all. Oops, I don't know why I just did that. So then, yeah, you get all this stuff. But this folder and the folder that will come pretty soon after this, these are going to be the 2 main folders, the RomFS and the EXEFS. You probably remember this if you watched the other tutorial. Now you're going to want to keep these somewhere safe. You might even want to have like a backup one so you don't have to go through this process every single time. So what you can do is just make a folder somewhere. I don't know, I'm going to call this Moon directory. Normally I keep all my directory files somewhere else, but for the sake of tutorial I'll put it here. Extracted EXEFS, extracted RomFS. So then you've got these. What you can do is go back to the hacking tutorial thing. I included Pk3ds. You want to launch that. Oh, that already, okay. Yeah, because the last time I used, okay, yeah. So, because last time I used Pk3ds, I was doing this tutorial, yay. So, what you want to do is, this is for, I'm just going to randomize it because, I mean, I'm not installing a full ROM hack. So, yeah. What you want to do is, you can leave game text and store text, personal stats. I'm just randomizing stuff, so, I'm going to randomize the personal stats. I'm not going to randomize base stats and all that, but not randomize stats, randomize held items, abilities. I'll allow Wonder Guard. Types, single type, 50% chance, sure, I don't really care. TM, HM, I'm going to leave that because in Sun and Moon, you can forget HM moves and they're all just TMs, so yeah. Special tutors, yes. RS tutors, catch rate, egg group. Yes. And then you click randomize. And this may take a long time, but yeah. And you could also do this if you wanted and have quick hatch eggs if you're doing an egg lock. All relevant entries randomize. So let me go back to Bulbasaur. Move tutors, TM1 during moves. Yeah, so all of his TMs are randomized, I think. Yeah, he can't normally learn Skydrop. Alright, so that should work. So then you can X out, then you can go on to the next one. I'm not going to randomize evolutions. If you wanted something super random, you could by all means do that. Because there is a randomizer option for that. These are level up moves. I'm going to say allow HMs. Bias by type, I'm not going to do that. And you could also expand the move pool if you want, but I'm not going to do that either. I mean, So randomize, and there you go. Now Abomasnow learns Dragon Breath, which he doesn't normally learn that. And Aeroblast. Okay. Then that one's pretty quick. Wild Encounters, it's gonna take a long time to load, but it is pretty quick. So there are gonna be a bunch of options for this also. So all of the Gen Pokemon. So if you only want Gen 1 Pokemon to be in it, you can only put Gen 1 Pokemon. You can take off all these other ones and have only Gen 1 checked. Game Legends, Event Legends, yes. Randomize. Ooh, Random Mega Forms has to be there. You can modify all levels to make them harder. I'm not going to do that. And, what else was there? There was another... Oh, okay. And then I'm going to randomize all. And you can't undo this one, so you can undo all the other ones, I think. I don't know. So, and then if you're doing like randomized shiny hunting or something, which I might do, so I could use this, copy initials to SOS. So like, for example, Palkia there, all of these Pokemon will be Palkia. So you can shiny hunt for Palkia. And then, yeah. So I'm going to do that. And there you see that. That didn't work for night. Oh. It only does it in the daytime. Or, oh. Oh, you have to do it manually? Wait. Wait. Please tell me. Oh, no. Alright. I didn't think, I thought that works for, alright. Let's see. Route 1. The Palkia and Regigigas. You really have to, okay. Modify all levels. Randomizer, I swear there was a way to do that. Dump tables, export tables. Alright, well, I guess not. So I'm just gonna X out then. And this takes a long time to save. And there you go. Mega Evolutions, you can't randomize this. That's if you know what you're doing, and I don't really know how to do that. So, you can do that also with this, but I'm just gonna randomize everything. All Pokemon's egg moves have been randomized. Trainers, let me see, randomized trainer. I'm gonna do all that. Allow random form for Mega Pokemon. That's normally, I don't know. I'm just gonna uncheck that. Type theme trainers, I'm gonna say no. Random after battle gifts, you can untick that, but I'm gonna do that because that's cool. Ensure at least 2 damaging moves. Nope. Ensure at least number of damaging moves. Ensure at least number of stab moves. I like to not have that because sometimes it gets funny. Random held items, yes. Random abilities, yes. Max IVs, smart EVs. I'll do that, I guess, sure. Level boost multiplier, random shinies. Like, you could have trainers that have shiny Pokemon. That's amazing. Not gonna randomize by base stat. That's what BST stands for, base stat total. So, like, for example, the first trainer, randomized by base stat total means it's all gonna have similar stats to, like, Rattata, or similar base stat total to Rattata or something, or, like, all the beginner Pokemon, and that's not as fun, so, yeah. I think that's all for that. Random one. Wonder what? Yeah. What? Randomize all, I guess. Oh! Actually, okay. Did that randomize? Let's see. Oh, yep, that randomized. Okay. Then you can exit out of that. Then go to item stats, move stats. You don't need to do that. Static encounters, this is where the starters are. So, you can just do starters. So I'm just going to do starters because, I don't know. I'm going to untick randomize by BST also. Randomize starters. Actually, no. Let me do that. Randomize starters. Gifts. Jellicent. Aegislash. And Landorus. And, static encounters are like, the totem Pokemon, for example. The totem Pokemon that you find, they're always going to be that one single Pokemon, so that's a static encounter. The Ultra Beasts. What's his name? Necrozma. There you go. He's a static encounter. All the starters you get, all the gift Pokemon, the trade Pokemon, and wild encounters. That's basically, or not wild encounters, but like the guaranteed encounter. Like for example, the Kecleon in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. That's a static encounter. Now, if you're on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, randomizing the starters is harder than it seems because it's a different file. It's like a certain crow file somewhere. So yeah, it's hard, but I forget what the file name is. It's a crow file, so it's not that hard. You just have to move that file, and it's not in the RomFS, or it's not in the A folder though, so it's harder to move. So then, yeah, I'm gonna click save that. Starters have been changed. Update text references. Yes. So then, what you want to do is you can go to the EXEFS and Crow. That's just smart. I'm not gonna edit that. TMHM is all I want to do in EXEFS. Now, the layout of this is going to be different in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I'm pretty sure Crow has type chart, starters, and what else was it? Type chart, starters. Oh, and static encounters was a separate one. And this was, I think, the Mart, TMs, and HMs, and some other things. I don't remember. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the TMs, HMs, and that's already here, and randomize. Boom. So now let's see some cool Steam Eruption. 1,000 arrows. Those are good TMs. So now you can save, and we'll be moving on to the next part. Alright, so once you've X'd out of that, you don't actually have to save it. It automatically does that. So yeah, once you've done that, make a folder somewhere called RomFS. Then inside it, make a folder called A. And this is if you edited the RomFS. If you only edited the EXEFS, you obviously don't have to do that. But yeah, so what you're gonna want to do is, this is the super tedious part. So what you want to do is go to the Sun and Moon Pk3ds folder. There should be a backup folder. Now all of the ones that you edited, so static encounters I edited, A155. Wait, actually no, let me get the first. I'll do 0, everything in 01 folder. 012, 014, 011, 017. These are all the ones I know as a fact have done. So 015, I did not do that actually. 013, level up moves. 083, encounter data. Where encounter set? Oh, that's it. Okay, so what you want to do is make an A folder, then you make a zero. Well, this is the first one I'm doing, but obviously you're gonna have to do multiple of them. 0, and then a new folder 1, And then what you're gonna have to do is, this is where it gets really tedious. Go here, go to A, 0, and then 1, and then I need 1, I need 2, I need 3, I need 4, I need 7. And then you want to copy them, make sure you're not just dragging them, copy them into here. Now you have to do this with everything you edited. So that's where the tedious part comes. And there might be some that weren't from Pk3ds that you edited. Maybe you wanted to edit like the Zangoose sprite or something. That's just an example. It would be 094 as the battle sprites. Then you'd have to have a folder for 0, 9, and then you'd put that in it. So yeah, this is gonna take a long time. So I'm probably gonna do a time lapse of it, just because, so you can see it, but it's fast forward. So if you want to slow it down or something, feel free. But yeah, I'm gonna do a time lapse. Okay, so once you're done with that, if you're on Omega B and Alpha Sapphire, or you edited something that was a crow file, you just drag that in here, not in the A folder. So yeah, and then you're done with your RomFS. Now I'm just gonna rename this. Actually, wait, is there something RomFS there? No, there isn't. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this to, oopsies, I just knocked my microphone, RomFS. And then you can delete these, but I'm going to put them back into the backup folder because they're called backup for a reason, and if something breaks, I don't want to be losing that. So yeah, I'm gonna put that back in the backup folder real quickly. And so once you've done that, you've got your RomFS folder. Now if you're downloading a ROM hack, that's also a pretty good thing to do because there are a lot of great ROM hacks in places like GB Attempt and Project Pokemon and stuff. So yeah, you've got your RomFS, but where it gets a bit, like, where it starts to differentiate is how they give you the EXEFS. Sometimes they might just give you a folder called EXEFS. Well, with RomFS, it's generally just the A folder or a crow file, but your A folder and or a crow file. With the EXE, sometimes they'll give you a .IPS patch. They might give you a code.bin file. Sometimes they'll give you the EXE folder. So you're gonna want the .IPS patch, and if you already have the .IPS patch, or like if they give you a .IPS patch, sorry, I'm mixing up my words. If they give you a .IPS patch, that's what you want to have. So you're not going to need to do anything extra then, because you already have the .IPS patch. But obviously, if you're editing it, you don't have that. You just have the folder, and the code.bin is in the folder. So yeah, you're only going to need the code.bin. So what you're going to do is, or for this method, you're only going to need the code.bin. What you're gonna do is you want to get the original code.bin, the unmodified one. So you're gonna want to go back to the pack hack. I'm gonna move this to my desktop real quick, and because it'll get rid of the .3ds files, and I don't want to have to wait that long again. So what you can do to clean is use cleantool.exe. It'll get rid of all the folders and all the extra stuff, but it also gets rid of .3ds and .cia files and stuff. So I don't want to do that because this is 3 gigabytes, and yeah, I don't want to be doing that. Or actually, no, this is 4 gigabytes. Well, when you install it, it's 3, but I think that's because this is the entire cartridge. So yeah. So now what you want to do is you run the hacking toolkit and D again. And if you already have the original, then you don't have to do this, obviously. If you already have the original code.bin, but I don't because I forgot, so yeah. If you ever do this again, just remember to back up the original code.bin because you're going to need that for this patch. So once it shouldn't take that long. Just doing this. I mean, obviously it'll take longer the slower your computer is, but you should be good because it doesn't really take that long. And then once you're done, you can just X out. Now you've got the execfs and the code.bin. Oh, that noise. Okay. I just scraped my 3ds cover because I'm using a new 3ds, so the noise it made when I just scraped it against my desk hurt my ears a lot. But whatever. So what you want to do is in this folder that I'm gonna put the link for, Lunar IPS.exe. You want to run that. Create IPS patch. You want to do is you want to get the original code.bin, like the unmodified version, and that's on my desktop. So you want to select this down to all files also. Then find the code.bin, open, and then now the new modified file, that's in the hacking tutorial folder, moon directory, no, wait, yeah, then execfs, then again take this down to all files, code.bin, open. It doesn't matter if there's a dot code before it, it'll still work. Then what you want to do is, no, not backslash, I'm just gonna save this not there, I'm gonna save it here. So just name it code.ips and just get rid of the dot if that's there. Then you're done and you've got this code.ips file. Now you're done setting up the exe. So now what you're going to want to do is, if you don't already still have it, insert your SD card into your computer. Then there you go. Go to the Luma folder. You're going to make one, if it's not there, a titles folder. And then you're going to want to put the full title ID of the game you're going to make a hack of. So in my case, I'm doing Moon. I'll leave the codes for every game in the description. So you can find those there. I mean, for example, this is Alpha Sapphire. This is Pokemon Y. This is Pokemon Sun. This is Pokemon Moon. But you don't need to know that because it's in the description. So what you want to do is you just want to drag the RomFS folder in. This may take a while because SD cards are generally slow. Yeah, it's great 1 megabyte per second. It's not doing that bad actually. Because I guess this isn't that big of a file though either. So I mean, if you're editing 094, that in itself is like a gigabyte. So then it would take longer. But this shouldn't take too long. You don't need to have like the best SD card ever. And then you've got that there, and you just want to drag the code.ips in also. And I'm going to check to make sure I'm doing this right. If you go into the other ones, that was not a good example. Yep, there you go. There's the code.ips. And there you go. So yeah, this should be the full thing. Now you can eject your SD card. And then insert your SD card into 3DS, or into your 3DS, and I will see you there. Okay, so once you've put your SD card back into your 3DS, what you want to do is hold select and then press the power button, and then you should be going, or you should be in this config menu. You want to check enable game patching, and then I already have that checked, and then you just hit start to save. Also, a mistake I made before I ended the recording. I had the thing named in parentheses moon. You want to just have the title ID. You don't want to have that. That was just so I could tell that it was the right one. And that was the one I needed to be editing. So once you've done that, you want to go to system settings, and I already have it deleted, but you're going to want to delete the update data. Oh no, that's not the right thing. Data management, 3ds, downloadable content. Now, see, for example, I'm just going to say Omega Ruby. It says update data right there. For Pokemon Moon, it'll say the same thing. And for Sun. So you're just going to want to delete that. You can always reinstall it later. So, yeah, you're going to want to delete the update data, because if you want to edit the EXEFS, you can't do that with the newest update. I think it might even break some more stuff in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire if you're using the latest update, but I'm not entirely sure. Just delete the update data to be safe. And then once you launch it, that's also another thing I'm going to address in my update video. Once I figure out how to get the update to work. So yeah. So then what you want to do, Coney City. That's where my last save was. So I'm gonna find. Actually, first, let's see the TMs. Acid Spray, Trop Kick. Okay. Bug Bite, Dragon Pulse, Hyperspace Hole. Extrasensory. Let's find some good stuff. Ominous Wind, Spike Cannon. That's all I have. I remember seeing 1,000 Arrows and Aeroblast though. So yeah, you can see that worked. Now let's test something from the RomFS and make sure multiple things worked. Let's see your type. Let's see what type you are. You're a Psychic type. You're a normal Electric type. You're an Electric. What are the odds? You're a Rock type. Normal Fighting. Why do all these Pokemon have normal? And you're a Fairy because you have our Chaos system. And yeah. I wonder what you'd be when I take it off though. That'd be cool to find out. Let's see. Let's go in here and find a wild Pokemon. I chose the worst possible place to save my game at before when I was doing some global trading, because the nearest wild encounter is all the way over here, but you should see that it works. And here we go, a Chansey. Now, you may not believe me, so I'll see if I can find something more extreme than a Chansey. So let's run away, and let's find something else. And guarantee you I'm gonna find, like, let's see what I find. Persian. Oh yeah, you can't find normal Persian in this. So that's proof, because this is a normal Persian in Alola. So normally you can't find that. So that's more proof. I'm just waiting to see like a legendary or something. I want to find a legendary. That would be cool. Okay. Persian again. Alright, well, I guess that's it. I keep finding Persian. So, if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like on the video. Also, if you enjoyed, please share the video, because it'll help my channel grow a lot, and I'd really appreciate it if you did. If you want to be notified whenever I upload a video, or if you want to support my channel, subscribe! Bye, guys! Yeah.